So today we're going to be talking about fibromyalgia, chronic pain, recognising it, understanding the symptoms, and understanding what it is in general. So stick around and hopefully you might learn something new. I'm a survivor of fibromyalgia. When I say survivor, I mean warrior. There's no cure for fibromyalgia. There's treatments and remedies. There is activities and physiotherapies that you can go to, but there is no cure as of yet for fibromyalgia. And there's a lot of people around the world who have been diagnosed and they don't exactly know what fibromyalgia is. They don't know what they've been diagnosed with. I was originally diagnosed when I was 16, but then I was officially diagnosed by a rheumatologist when I was approximately 25, I think. I'm 28 now. I was about 25, yeah. So, when I was first diagnosed by my GP. My first symptoms that I was getting was extreme tiredness, pain that would move around my body and I wouldn't be injured, fibro fog where you forget what you're going to say, or you've got confusion, or your words literally don't come out your mouth. It's like you can't process your words properly. Sometimes with fibro fog you have trouble like remembering things, or trouble with learning new things as well, because you have a lack of attention. It affects you. It can affect you mentally. You can also get depression, anxiety, which I already had when I was diagnosed. But the main one that was sticking out was the pain, the fatigue, feeling tired all the time, lack of energy, and not understanding why I was feeling that way, and chronic back pain. It was horrible. It still is horrible. But when I first got diagnosed, when that pain came out of nowhere, oh my gosh, it hit short like a ton of bricks. And like I said, that was like when I was 16. Now when I was 24, I went back to the doctors because my pain got worse. Not 24, 25. I can't remember the exact years, 24, 25, I can't remember. This is one of the things you forget things, you go dead forgetful. I can't remember the exact year. I've got paperwork somewhere, but I don't know the exact year that I was officially diagnosed. But what happened with me is I go to my GP and I say, look, this pain is worse now than when I had it. I've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was limping because I was getting really bad flare-ups, so I was limping and I couldn't cope with the pain and I didn't know what to do. So my doctor referred me to a rheumatologist, and when I went to a rheumatologist, they did blood tests to check for arthritis, they did x-rays, and they did I think it's called a CAT scan. I can't remember the medical term. The one where you go in, it's like a tunnel. You're not allowed anything metal on. So they just check everything. Because they have to rule everything out, you see. Because sometimes fibromyalgia is just thrown at people without them being officially diagnosed and checked for other things. So you have to get checked for other things before you just, take it on the chin that it's fibromyalgia. You need to try and get them questions answered, especially if you're concerned with the amount of pain that you're in. Because, for something like arthritis, other pain conditions, you need a different medication, different treatments. So it's really important that you get checked. So I had all the tests and they couldn't find any problems. And then they did this thing that's called the fibro test. And basically you lie on a table, on a doctor's table, or the doctor's bed, or whatever you want to call it. And you have the way they do it is you have 18 pressure points in your body, what they press. And for it to be positive for fibromyalgia, there needs to be at least 11 out of the 18 that are sensitive. Of course, they ask you all your symptoms and your background. They check how long you've been dealing with this pain, what other conditions you have. Like I said, they rule everything out, and then they do the pressure point test, which I will tell you, I'll be honest with you, it is horrible. It is so painful. It feels like somebody's got a hot poker and they're stabbing you with that. And yeah, it's not cool. It's not nice. It's not fun. But you need to go and get it done, because then the rheumatologist can refer you to the places that you need to be. Now, after I was officially diagnosed with fibromyalgia by the rheumatologist, they referred me to the pain clinic. Now, obviously, every country is going to be different, but in the UK we have something called the pain clinic, and it's where they refer you to physiotherapy. It's where they get you on the medication that you need to be on, and they get you sorted out basically. When you go to the pain clinic, they check your medical background. They can prescribe you for medication that your doctor can't prescribe for you basically, so they're really good. But I can only have certain medication. I only have one kidney, you see, so I can't have too strong of medication, which isn't fun when you're in a flare-up, but that's the way it goes. They referred me to physiotherapy, which was so helpful. I can't wait to be going back again, because I have stepped away from it whilst all this is going on. I want to keep everyone safe. I've been doing my exercises at home, but at physiotherapy, it's really nice. Like at first they have a session where they talk about your pain, how it affects your life, things that you struggle with, and then they do very gentle exercises with you. And they also refer you if you need any aids or equipment, which is really helpful as well. I'm sorry if I pause a lot sometimes. Like I said, I suffer with this fibro fog and I forget what I'm going to say. Like, I've literally got notes here so I remember what I'm talking about. But yeah, so they refer you to all the right places that you need to be, which is really helpful, because I got a lot of my independence back when I was referred to I think they refer to occupational therapy, and that's what it's called. It's a few years back now, but when they referred me there, I got a lot of my independence back. I didn't need a lot of aids, and I don't need them aids all the time. It's only when I'm poorly with the flare-ups that the aids come in so much handy. One of the aids that the physiotherapists gave me was an elbow crutch. Again, so handy, because some of my flare-ups cause me to literally limp. I can't walk. It's like you're walking on nails. It's horrible. But that elbow crutch that they gave me, it gave me my independence back. So I've got a big list here of the symptoms of fibromyalgia. Like, I've literally got every single one of these anyway. But I've written them down so I don't forget. But I'll talk about them a little bit and explain to you, and you can understand them if that is placing in with you. Remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm just talking about my story, my experience with this chronic pain, how I have dealt with it and how I live with it the best that I can. So the first one here is muscle stiffness. Now this one is a pain in, like, no pun intended, but literally is a pain in the backside. The muscle stiffness you can have days where you're totally fine, and then you'll wake up and you're like, I can't move. And if your daily activities or your daily routine changes, say if, for example, every day you walked 20 minutes to school and 20 minutes back, or you walked 20 minutes to the supermarket, and say you go from that to then being on the 6-week holidays, and you get out of your routine, all of a sudden your muscles will become so stiff. So the best way to deal with the muscle stiffness is, even if you're not going out somewhere, every day try and just like walk around the house, because it will make such a difference. Don't get me wrong, you know, you could end up with more. You've got to do it gently. You can't just push yourself straight away. You've got to build yourself up. Avoid getting the muscles being stiff. Even when you're in your routine, even when you're doing your exercises, you can still struggle with muscle stiffness. The next one here I want to talk about is extreme tiredness. Now, when you first get diagnosed with fibromyalgia, this again will hit you like a ton of bricks, because you go from just having a normal person's amount of energy to being just tired all the time. Like, you literally feel like you've been on a 18-hour shift, and I've done 18-hour shifts in the past, and that's how you feel constantly. Even when you've had a good sleep, you wake up feeling tired. So you can put a yard. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. The best way to deal with extreme tiredness is to listen to your body. When your body's telling you to rest, you need to rest. Now, that's not always easy, especially if you're like me and you're a single parent. But then what you need to do is take every moment that you can. When the kids have gone to bed and you've done what you need to do, chill out. Next one is increased sensitivity to pain. We feel pain so much easier than normal people, but at the same time we have a high tolerance of pain. Now, they might sound like they're confusing each other. When you first get fibromyalgia, you don't have that high tolerance of pain, because like I've already said, it just hits you and you feel like you've just been beaten up. Now, when you, after a few years, you are used to living without pain every day, but you are still sensitive to pain. So say if someone's next to you and they poke you, right, that could feel like somebody is just like done it real hard, even though they've done it softly to you. Me doing it to myself doesn't hurt, but if someone came and done that to me, I have 3 young children, and believe me, they prod and poke you all the time. It's not nice. But even if it's something else, like you've walked past the door and the door handle's banged into you, or you've stubbed your toe, like the pain can literally bring tears to your eyes. It's not even funny. It's learning to deal with that extreme increased sensitivity, because you do learn. The pain's there, and if you don't listen to your body, you do get a lot of flare-ups. I get a lot of flare-ups, not because I don't listen, but because I'm a parent, and even when I'm listening to my body, there's still things that I need to do. And you'll find that yourself, if you're a parent, there's times when you need to put your kids before your health. But at the same time, you need to take the rest and listen to your body. But with fibromyalgia, flare-ups are unavoidable sometimes. The next one here is difficulty sleeping. I've had that a lot of times. You'll be trying to go to sleep, and your mind, because your body's resting, your mind will just all of a sudden come awake. The best way I found to deal with difficulty sleeping is listening to relaxing, like meditation music or guided meditations. I have been doing 15-minute guided meditations on my channel. People say that I have a softly spoken voice, so if you feel like you're struggling with difficulty sleeping, that might be something that you want to check out there. Problems with mental process, known as fibrofog. We have already spoke about this a little bit. I struggle with this a lot. Like, when people are talking to me, sometimes my mind doesn't process it. I'm like, what did you say? You just have to, sometimes people have to explain things to you a few times. And you don't have very good concentration either. Like, if you're studying, you find it real hard to process it. The best way to deal with that, say if you're in university or college and you've got fibromyalgia, get a tape recorder to record your teaching lessons. Record it all, because otherwise you're not going to remember it. That's what I had to do when I was in college. I had a little recorder. It was provided to me by the college. But if you can't get one provided by the college, they're very cheap to purchase on Amazon. And I will find one, and I will add that into the description down below. But that is something definitely to look at. If you're struggling with your concentration when you're having a conversation, obviously that can be quite embarrassing. Keep asking people what you're saying. So the best thing I found is just to be frank. I just be honest with me, and I'll say, I'm sorry, I have this condition, it's called fibromyalgia, and I struggle with concentration. And if I say to you, what do you mean? I'm not being rude, I just need you to explain it to me. That's all you can do. Because if you want to be taking information in, you need that support. And your family and your friends and your people around you need to be able to understand that. Because it's really difficult sometimes to, sometimes you'll be in a group of people and you just won't be taking in what they're saying. Next one here, we have headaches and migraines. Now, if you're already struggling with fibromyalgia, I'm sure that you've experienced the migraines. And it literally feels like someone's drilling a hole into your head. I always get it around my eyes, going right back. My eyes are fine by the way, I've been to the opticians. But I'll get it around my eyes, and then I'll get it going all the way back to the back of my neck, which is connected to your pressure points, which can trigger your flare-ups. connected to your migraines, connected to your headaches. It's all interconnected. The next one, before we move on, the way I deal with migraines is literally, might sound daft this, but it's the way that I have to do it, is I have to take my painkillers, because otherwise they don't go. I have to put some sunglasses on, turn all the sound down, if you've got any music or whatever in the house, or go into a quiet dark room, just lie down, try and go to sleep, because it might be the tiredness that's setting it off as well. Next one here we have IBS. Again, I struggle with IBS. With IBS, another symptom that comes into that is acid reflux, and I also struggle with that. IBS stands for irritable bowel syndrome, and it can affect people in all sorts of different ways. With irritable bowels, it can cause constipation, it can cause loose bowels, it can cause troubles with digesting food. With acid reflux, the acid literally comes up. It can be really embarrassing if you're in public, because it's not like it's like a burp, but it's not like a normal burp. You can't hold it in or something, because it literally, because it's acid, it'll come out your nose, and it hurts you, it burns your nose, and it's a horrible smell because it's acid. The best way to deal with that is to get medication from the doctor. Also, look at the food that you're having, see if anything's irritating you. Your whole immune system can become very, very sensitive when you have fibromyalgia, so it's really good to look at what food you're taking in, and anything that's triggering the IBS or the acid reflux, just take it out of your diet. And if you don't know what it is, then take a food diary. Start a food diary and then write it all down, and look at the days when you're getting the acid reflux or the irritable bowels. The next one here is fatigue. We've already spoke about that a little bit. The next one here is extreme sensitivity. Again, we spoke about that. The other things is with extreme sensitivity, we become extremely sensitive to cold, heat, water. There is another condition called allodynia and paraesthesia. I can't even say it. I will add the name of it into the description and you can try and pronounce it. But basically, it's like pins and needles all over your body, and certain things can trigger it off, like certain textures, or stress can set it off, or tiredness. And when you get that, pins and needles, even your hair just going like that on your face, feels like someone's just got sandpaper and scraped it onto your face. It's not a nice feeling at all. Sometimes it feels like it's spreading all over your body. I've had it where it's gone into my mouth and into my throat. It's been like all pins and needles going down. It's horrible, and I don't even know yet how to deal with that. I get it probably about 3 times a year. It's not one of my most common symptoms, but when I get it, it is one of my worst symptoms. And the only thing I can suggest when you get that is if you get someone to give you a massage, or you do it yourself and just rub really hard. Light touches hurt. If you rub really hard, it helps take away some of the pins and needles. So you just rub really hard. It sounds strange, but it does work. And then the only other thing you can do is just ride it out. Next one here is ache, burning sensation, or sharp stabbing pains. that is how fibro pain feels like. Obviously, fibromyalgia is a hidden disability. Unless you're literally limping or you're having a big flare up where it knocks you onto your back and you struggle with independence of it, people can't tell that you have a disability. Most of the time, we struggle with having flare-ups in the evening, so people don't see it in the day a lot of the time. But yeah, fibromyalgia, the pain can be in one spot or it can move all around your body, and it could be in your knee one day and then the next day you could have it in your ankle, or you could have pain in your knee and your ankle, and you literally feel like you've been injured. And the pain can feel like an ache, a cramp, a stabbing, a sharp pain, anything like that, a burning sensation, that kind of pain where it feels like sandpaper, and that's like more on your actual skin. But these other pains, it's like more within your bones and within your muscles. That's where it feels like the pain is. Fibromyalgia pain is real pain. It isn't pain that's caused by an injury. I'm going to explain this to you the way my physiotherapist explained it to me. When somebody with fibromyalgia, they have pain receptors like a broken alarm system. Their pain receptors, let's go back. With a broken alarm system, if you need to change your battery in your smoke alarm, it's going to keep going off, isn't it? Telling you to change the batteries. Now with fibromyalgia, your pain receptors are sending signals around up to your brain, telling you there's pain, there's pain, there's pain. Obviously, there isn't anything causing pain. But then pain receptors are telling your brain that there is pain. That doesn't mean it's anything in your head, by the way. This is neurological. It's within your nerve endings. And then pain receptors tell your body that you're in pain, even though you shouldn't be. You could have been doing something as simple as writing, and just because you've done a little overstrenuous activity, it's telling your pain receptors to send pain signals to that area. Be mindful of your of learning a difference between injuring yourself and having a flare-up. Your pain is real pain. Don't let anyone ever tell you that it's in your head, or you're making it up, or there's something wrong with your mental health because of fibromyalgia pain. And this isn't anything towards anyone with mental health, because I suffer with depression and anxiety, which comes under mental health. What I'm saying is, I have personally experienced with narcissistic people where they have told me that my pain wasn't real. They've called me lazy. They've called me a hypochondriac. And that is not a case at all. When it comes to people like that, the best thing you can do is remove them from your life, because you don't need them at all. Next one here, we have trouble remembering or learning. Now, we've spoken a little bit about this. I ask you to forgive me in any of my videos if I forget the words that are coming out of my mouth. Just bear with me, and that's what you need to ask people around you. You need to ask them to be understanding and supportive of you. It isn't an easy experience when you're forgetting your own words, and it can be very embarrassing sometimes. Slowed or confused speech, basically what I just said. You'd be talking and then your words will go dead low, because your brain's trying to process the words coming out of your mouth. Anxiety and depression. Majority of people who have fibromyalgia also struggle with anxiety or depression or some form of it. If you feel that you're suffering with anxiety or depression, the best thing that you can do is go to your doctors and speak about it. Don't ignore it. I tried to do that a few times, it doesn't go away. The best way to deal with it is as soon as you start to feel really down, you need to tell yourself, look, it's not okay to be feeling like this. I need to go to the doctors. That's how I've learned to live with it anyway. Depression is a big black dog that can follow you around for years. And the best thing to do is when that big black dog gets big, learn to live with it. And talk to people. I'm always open for a chat. If you feel you need to talk to somebody, you can find me on Twitter at Keely Talks, and DM me. I'll be there for anybody. I've had my low times, and there was people that weren't there for me. I had to be there for me. I had to pick myself up. But if the only thing I wanted right then is just for somebody to care. Depression's tricky and hard, and we'll go into all of that in another video, because it's a big conversation, and it's something that needs more time than just going through the symptoms of fibromyalgia, but it's definitely related to fibromyalgia. And if you feel like you're struggling with depression, like I said, don't ignore it. Dizziness is also another one, or being clumsy, which again can be really embarrassing. But I've learned to just laugh it off. Sometimes if I'm really fatigued and I'm doing something that needs my full attention, I really try and focus on it. Sometimes it's really difficult. I'll just try and focus just one step at a time, especially when you're on medication, because the medication for fibromyalgia can make you feel really foggy-headed as well. Another one here is restless leg syndrome. Again, I struggle with this. I wouldn't say that it bothers me though. It's like a comfort thing more than anything, because I've had it for years. Do you know what I mean? It more affects me when I'm tired and my feet are like my legs going all the time. And the way I've just dealt with that is that I've just become accustomed with it. Living with fibromyalgia, the best thing you can do is learn to become accustomed to your pain. There is no cure. The pain won't go away. It will ease. Like, you'll learn to understand your normal day-to-day pain and what your flare-ups are. And you'll get there. Once you learn your normal day-to-day pain, you can manage it better. And sometimes the fibromyalgia even gives you a day off, which is amazing. Like, it literally, you'll have a day sometimes where you just feel normal. No pain, no symptoms. And you think, right, I can get everything done that I can't usually get done when I'm in pain, which is awesome and amazing. But the only downside is you're overexerting yourself and you get them flare-ups afterwards. So when you're having that day off of pain, as tempting as it is to get everything done, because believe me it is, I've done it too many times, but every single time I've regretted it, because every single time I overdo it. I'm literally like, when I have a day of pain, I'm literally on my kitchen side tops, cleaning top of my cupboards, doing all the mad little jobs that I can't do when I'm in pain, decorating, all sorts. Don't do it. Don't do what I do with that. You need, when your body's giving you a day off of pain, you need to take that day off of pain and just treat it like a day off work that you can relax. But believe me, that is hard. When you get them day off pains, you get full of energy and you feel full of beans. You just want to get everything done. But you need to remember that you're going to get your flare-ups. Sometimes it's worth it for the flare-up. You might be in terrible pain the day after, but sometimes, like, there's just things that you need to get done. So with that, I'll tell you to take your own initiative. Weigh up your options. Is it worth the pain, whatever you need to get done? Or do you need to relax yourself? Have you been in too much pain recently? With every person, your medication will work differently for you, and it'll be different medications whatever country you live in. Some countries might be the same or similar, but what I mean is a lot of them have different names, different dosage amounts. But what's important is whatever your doctor prescribes you, you need to give that medication a good go. Some of them medications are not going to work. You can also be asked to refer to acupuncture. That is something that I really want to try. It's supposed to be really good for fibromyalgia patients. Again, physiotherapy really helps. With physiotherapy, it's about learning gentle exercises where it retrains the muscles to get out of this stiff mode. So I can put my neck all the way to the side, but it hurts, right? It does, it hurts. So with physiotherapy, for example, they tell you to go until you get the twinge. So that's where I get a twinge. So then you bring it back up and do the other side. That one is starting to wake a little bit, it's not too bad. This one hurts there. I can bring it all the way down, but it hurts. So, gentle exercises. Bring it back up. Gentle exercises, bring it back up. This is just as an example in case you can't afford to go to physio or you're not in the UK. In the UK, obviously we have our NHS. And in some other countries you have free healthcare, but some countries you don't. Another good one for the physiotherapy is doing that same thing but with your arms and your legs and your feet. So bringing your feet up until it hurts, and with your wrists as well. So bring it up till it hurts. When I say hurt, I mean the twinge. You know what I'm talking about if you're a fibro patient. As soon as you feel that twinge of pain, you might be able to go past that pain because you're used to it, but as soon as you get to that twinge, just stop, bring it down, go the other way. And again with the elbow, bring it all the way round. Obviously you can't see what I'm doing, but you know what I'm talking about. Bring your arm down in front of you, and again lift your arm up as far as you can until it starts to hurt, and then bring it down. The same thing with your legs. These are just gentle exercises to prevent getting stiffness. Like, don't get me wrong, the stiffness, you can wake up and be totally stiff some days, but just doing these little exercises can help a lot to manage that stiffness there. I feel like that there is so much that I've forgotten, even though I've written notes, but I'm going to leave the video here because I think it's like nearly 45 minutes long. But if you have got to this far, thank you for watching. This video is going to be a bugger to edit. It's going to take ages to upload, so please leave me a like, leave me a comment to let me know that you've watched it, and hopefully you have a bit of a better understanding of fibromyalgia, chronic pain. And please, if you don't have fibromyalgia, don't ever tell anybody that they're not feeling their pain, because we do feel our pain. We feel it every day, apart from the very, very rare occasion that our pain gives us a day off. Please be supportive and understanding. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean that it's not there. We are very good at hiding it because we've learned to live with the pain. Doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, because it does. We've just learned to live with it. Anyway, I'm rattling on again. Please leave a like, please leave a comment, and thank you for watching, and I hope you join me again soon. Bye.